Oh, I know that sound. It's time for the Beer and News Report. Hi, and welcome to the Beer News Report. Cheers. Today I'm drinking another Korean beer from that 8-pack I bought. This one is Sunhari Citron. And yes, it is orange. It tastes like orange medicine. I mean, seriously, if you put it in a little plastic cup and told me it was cough medicine that was easily drinkable, I'd totally believe you. If you look at this, you can see bubbles and stuff. Now, the beer actually doesn't have that many bubbles, but it's so medicine-y that I mixed it with some sparkling water to cut it. I don't like it. It's that bad. I'm trying to figure out what other things I can mix with it. Maybe orange juice? But nothing else is coming to mind. So this one's not for me, but cheers. Have you seen the show Ancient Aliens? I've been watching this show now for years, and it's so unbelievable that I want to believe in it. If you've ever watched the show, it's about these aliens that supposedly have come down from space at the beginning of mankind, and they started mankind, and it was for several reasons, and they built all the ancient monuments like the pyramids and Machu Picchu, anything that's old and natural wonder, they built it. It was their technology. And all the myths that we have, Odin and the Norse god and all that stuff, that was all aliens. So I like it. It's just fun to believe it, right? So I thought it'd be funny to actually do an interview of one of these aliens. That's what this show is going to be. Me interviewing one of these aliens. And why did they come to Earth? What was the whole purpose behind it? All right, are you ready for some fun? Cheers. Hello.
Hi, is this Art?
Yes, is this Hendersaja?
Yes.
Just to be clear for our viewers, you're Anunnaki, right? From the planet Nibiru?
Yes, that is correct.
Now, your planet has a big elliptical orbit that swings by Earth. Was it just curiosity that made you come to Earth?
No, just like what you Earthlings are doing right now, we started using up all our resources on our planet. So we searched for other planets to get resources from. As luck would have it, our orbit came close to Earth every 10,000 years. So we got in our ships and came to Earth.
So basically, you were stealing from us. Don't you think you owe us something for all that you took?
Let's be clear, we came to Earth, there were no humans, just animals. What do animals need with resources, especially gold?
Well, we might not have been there when you first arrived, but we evolved soon afterwards. Is that when you started messing with us?
No, humans would never have evolved, not in a million years. Think about it. Has any monkey evolved? Has any animal evolved into anything close to a human? No. The only reason why you humans are here at all is because we made you.
Wait a minute. I'm supposed to believe that God didn't make us and that Darwin was wrong and evolution is a joke? You're telling me that you made us. Why? Because you wanted a pet and a chimpanzee wasn't cool enough?
No, you were not made to be pets. We came to Earth for resources, and we needed a lot. The continent you call Africa had the most resources from our testing. We started mining operations there, but work was hard, dangerous, and we needed more workers than we could supply from Nibiru.
So you made us to work for you.
Well, we started using African animals, but we could not train them to mine. They could only do menial tasks like hauling ore, and we needed more. So our geneticists did some research and figured out they could modify some of the monkey's DNA and make them better workers.
My guess is you played around with their DNA, like using CRISPR.
CRISPR! We have much better technology than that. Anyway, we tried several types of monkeys, but the chimpanzee worked the best. On a side note, your Neanderthal man was made from using gorilla DNA. So we made some adjustments to the chimp DNA, and ta-da, you humans were born. It should be noted, it took several thousand tries before we finally got the DNA mix right. For instance, we found out that body hair isn't conducive to mining, so we edited it out. We also thought walking on all fours would be better in mines since they are kind of cramped, but that wasn't conducive to working with tools, so we made you bipedal.
Okay, let me get this straight. You're saying that we didn't naturally evolve from chimps ourselves, and that there was no God who made us from, intelligent design.
Actually, I am saying you were made from intelligent design, but that we were the designers.
So you're our God. That's what you're saying.
Yes.
So all this stuff in the Tanakh and the Bible and the Quran, that's just a bunch of BS. Is that what I'm supposed to believe?
No, all those things are somewhat true, but you should know that they are talking about us. The writers made some changes and added their own personality to some of their writings, but for the most part, it is about us.
What? That sounds a little far fetched. What about Noah and the flood? What was the purpose of that?
Ha ha! Let me give you a little history. Once we made the changes to the DNA, we started producing humans. We gave you extremely long lifespans, like 10,000 years, so you could work basically forever. I know that sounds harsh, but you were really stupid and didn't know a better life, and we didn't care. But they were also sterile, sort of like you. When you made a horse with a donkey, you get a mule, and mules are sterile. Well, as I said, mining is hard and dangerous. Not to mention, Africa at the time had way more dangerous animals, so we lost a lot of humans and had to produce more. Our scientists complained that they could not keep up production and wanted to make another change. So they modified the DNA, and humans could produce, and they did it in such a way that the female was constantly ovulating. In that way, the human population would grow fast. It worked well. You humans produced like rabbits. They were popping up everywhere. Being that we had men working in the mines way more than women, since men had upper body strength, our scientists focused on manufacturing women.
I get it. The men would come home and make more babies. Is that why there were harems in the past, to produce as many babies as possible?
Exactly. A good worker would get more women so we could breed a strong workforce. Poor workers would get no women and be sent deep into the most dangerous part of the mine because we did not care if they died.
What does this have to do with Noah and the flood?
Well, as I said, we finally had enough people and you kept on reproducing. So we sent in the bad workers out into the field for lions and hyenas to eat, but you somehow survived. By this time, we taught you how to form cities and kingdoms. We chose the leaders, usually really strong workers with a head for management. We told everyone they were descendants from God, meaning from us. You bought it because you are stupid, and trying to explain genetics to you was a waste of time. Anyway, you started building cities and kingdoms all over the place, meaning you had migrated to the Middle East. You started declaring yourself independent from us and wanted us off the planet, so we decided to wipe you off the planet.
So that's why you flooded the earth.
We didn't have to flood the whole earth, just the Middle East. That's where all you were.
You know, we still have trouble there in that area today.
Yeah, that's a hot zone.
So how did you do it? And why did you tell Noah to build an ark?
Well, just like you, we have bleeding heart liberals too. Some of our people went around the rules because they liked Noah. They told them to build a boat because a flood was coming. As for the flood itself, that was simple meteorological controls. We seeded rain clouds in the area, designed water blockage features to hold the rainwater in, and a special kicker, we had a tidal wave on both sides of the Middle East. It worked really well.
Wait a minute. From what I remember of Noah, he had to gather all the animals of the world. What was this talk of having animals come in the ark 2 by 2?
We told Noah it was animals, but really it was their DNA from the endemic animals there. Most of us did not care, and we would have let the animals go extinct. But, I mean, new animals would eventually come in. It wouldn't have affected our work at all. But those damn liberals wanted to preserve all the life there.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Sometimes progress gets stopped because some mouse lives in an area we want to build a building, or a bird lives in the forest where we want to cut down the trees. That hasn't changed.
I will say that we designed you humans to learn fast and to be highly suggestible. When we told you to do something, you only needed one lesson.
What do you mean we were highly suggestible? Wait a minute. Did you suggest to us that blacks could be good as slaves? Is that where slavery came from?
No, we did not suggest it. As I said, Africa was the best resources of any of your continents on the planet, so we went there first. When we designed you humans, we made you black because it fit the climate of the area.
But you made them inferior to other races?
No, they were designed like everyone else. There is nothing you can do that they can't do, but we keep the ones in our control limited in their development, meaning we did not teach them anything except how to mine unless they became a leader.
So why did other countries use Africa for their slave trade?
Because you are copying us. We really didn't care what happened to you humans. We just needed your resources. And let's be clear, anyone could become a slave. If you lost a war, the losers became slaves to the winner. Also, women were basically treated as sex slaves, again, because that's how we set it up. We needed workers and designed women to produce them.
Yeah, but people know that other people aren't things. They know that they're not pieces of property. How could this have happened?
You are not getting it. For tens of thousands of years, we had men as slaves working in our mines and women working as sex slaves to produce workers. That was your life. If you were a woman, you were only going to have sex and produce babies. That's it. As women aged and their reproductivity went down, we usually let them out into the wild. We figured they were way too weak to protect themselves, and why waste our time and energy on them? If you were a man, you had choices. If you worked hard and showed us your capabilities, you were rewarded with women and became a manager, otherwise known as a king. Basically, we gave you slaves. Life wasn't too bad. If you were a poor worker, you got no woman. Probably sent you to work under a good manager, or we just got rid of you, either by killing you or sending you into the wild. Let's be clear here, though. Everyone was black. The women, the men, the good workers, the managers, the bad workers. There were no white people, yellow people, brown, or red, tan, only black.
Well, then how did all those races come about?
Because you mutated. As you migrated north, your skin naturally turned lighter. What happened was you also needed workers, and you followed our lead. You went to Africa and grabbed people there. But if we had started in what you call China, then the yellow race would have been known for slavery. Wherever we started, that race was destined to become the slave race.
Let me see if I understand you correctly. You came to Earth to mine our gold because you needed it for your planet.
Yes,
And you did a scan and found that Africa had the most gold on the whole Earth.
yes,
And then you started mining using your own people, but they didn't like the work.
yes, but you're being simplistic.
Okay, that's fine. So you replaced your people, you created humans to do the mining.
Yes,
And since it was in Africa, the best skin tone was black, so you made everyone black.
exactly.
Then you had so many humans that you set up an internal hierarchy to keep everyone in line. The best workers got promoted to managers, and the bad workers were sent deeper into the mines.
Yes, or we would send them out into the wild.
Right, or if they were too old.
Yes, but we made the humans first to live over 10,000 years.
I got it. Now, the managers were basically royalty, like kings, and the bad workers were the peasants.
Yes,
And you taught the kings how to rule with an iron fist.
well, sort of. We told kings that they were chosen by gods and that they were better than the average person. We constantly told them that gods would give them special attention and that other people should worship them because they have access to the gods.
So after a couple hundred years of being king, they figured out that people better worship them or they would be punished.
Yes, exactly.
So if they were approved by the gods, then their children would also be approved by the gods.
Yes, but in those days, kings had a multitude of wives, like hundreds. We wanted them to produce good workers.
Did it work?
Yes, but not all children were good. We never got the genetics down to where we could consistently produce good workers from two strong working parents. There was just too many genes and combinations that occurs when mixing them.
Fair enough. Now, you started to notice that the ones you sent into the wild were still living and reproducing.
Yes, way more than we calculated.
So you designed diseases and natural disasters to kill them off.
Actually, in the beginning, we went with wars. We told the kings they needed to conquer more land to get more power and wealth. We taught them how to build armies and train them to fight.
If that's the case, then why did you need to design diseases and natural disasters?
Believe it or not, wars do not kill that many people. Even if you have constant warring, which we did for thousands of years, you humans still reproduce.
Really?
Oh, yes. If you want to kill off humans, you got to use natural disasters and diseases. Diseases are the best, but we did natural disasters first.
Why is that?
It was easier, causing earthquakes, floods, giant storms, and heat waves. Simple meteorological systems to guide nature to do what we want it to do.
You mean like seeding clouds to produce rain?
Yes, but way more advanced than that. Also, at that time, there were no human diseases. You got to remember that we made you, not nature. So nature didn't have any offensive agents to counter what we did. We were the ones that developed the diseases.
But that didn't work either.
Nope, no matter how hard we tried, you still outproduced us.
Well, it's been great talking to you, Hinder Saha. And got to end the show right here. But we'll come back and talk to you to learn more about our history of ancient aliens. Take care. Wasn't that a great interview? I thought it was fantastic. Cheers. Well, as you can see, my beer is almost empty, and that means we're at the end of the show. If you want to contact me, I can be reached at this email address. I hope you had a good time watching it, some laughs maybe. And if you liked it, please click that like button. Of course, you can always get notified of new shows if you just subscribe. And then right next to the subscription button is that little bell icon. Click that, and it'll notify you when I put up a new show. Until then, keep your beer cold and your interest hot. Cheers.